Well, good afternoon and welcome once again to Ed's Orchids. I know I haven't been on much these days, but I'm doing all my best and putting on and showing you what I can. So today I'm going to have a look at my Phragmipediums. I'll go through them one by one. I think I've got 7 here, and the first one being a Andium Fire. I used to have a big plant of this, and this is one of the little cuttings that's off it. Looks nice and healthy. They're all in lava rock, and I'm having a bit of trouble with lava rock really, but we'll come into that later. But this is 1, 2, 3, 4 growth plant, and it's flowered from one of them there. So the other ones it can flower from anytime it feels like it. Nice big growth round here. There we are. And that's the Andium Fire, which is made up from a very large species called Lindleyanum and a much smaller plant, the Phragmipedium bessi, which is a beautiful red colour. And it gives this plant not a large but a very compact red colour in its growth. About the size of, about 2.5 inches across, something like that at the most. So that's the Andium Fire. And the next one, which is Phragmipedium Grandy. And this is another lovely hybrid, and it's out of a beautiful species called Caudatum, which is beautiful with lovely long petals. And it's also from Phragmipedium longifolium. And the Caudatum's flowers are basically, more like a pale green flower, and the longifolium being basically a pale green yellow one with red edgings, which gives the Grandy flower a mixture of all those colours with very long petals. You can find pics of all these, what I'm trying to tell you, on the web. So that's Phragmipedium Grandy, which is another cutting from one of the large plants I had. Also in lava rock, which we'll discuss in a minute. And the next one I'd like to show you is the Phragmipedium shroderey, which has failed on me many times, this one, but this one doesn't look too bad. It's coming up with a nice new growth here. And if I turn the plant round, you can see it's coming up with a growth there. So this isn't doing too bad. Once again in lava rock, the watering them is a little bit different than watering in other circumstances and other bark that it's planted in. And this is a cross between, longifolium again and Cardinali, which I have a plant of later on. Now the colour of these flowers on the ones it's spread out of is the Cardinali, which is sort of very pale petals on it, from a sort of greeny white to red on the pouch. But when coupled with longifolium, the colours of shroderey can be very, very variable, and they can vary from white, from purple, pink, green, or a mixture of all the lot. Very beautiful little things. So that one is Phragmipedium shroderey. Now this is the smallest of my Phragmipediums, and it's the Phragmipedium piercii. Now this can be fine growing next to rivers, on the shores of the rivers, with its roots in the water, or it can be found on boulders or rocks in the middle of the streams. growing on the moss there. Absolutely beautiful things. The flowers are so exquisite, you know, in shape that they're I don't know what they call it, yellow greenish flowers, and they have a very exquisite appearance. Absolutely lovely. That is Phragmipedium piercii. And this is another hybrid I have to show you, which is Phragmipedium Carol Kanzer. I've shown you this one in flower before, about probably a couple of months ago, maybe 3 months ago, but they're very beautiful, beautiful flowers. And it's a cross between Schlimmii and piercii, which I've just shown you, two small plants, but the plant itself is a very medium-sized growing plant. The plant produces flowers which have great difference between the colours of various plants, all depending who's the parents are from, you know, where they're bred from, so the colours can change a lot on these. And the pouches on these could be a very pale colour, or they could be red, they could be pink or green, even brown they can be, but it all depends on, as I said, on the parents' offspring. But these are very beautiful plants, and this is a lovely plant I've got here. It's got plenty and plenty of growth on it, with new growth coming up, so I'm looking forward to that one being in bloom again. It can bloom twice a year, this one. And this one, being the 6th one, is a Cardinali. Absolutely lovely plant, one of my favourites. Flowered there before, plenty of nice growth on it which you can flower from, at least three more that can bloom. And it's a cross between, as I said, Schlimmii and piercii. These flowers on these can be very variable in colour, with combinations of white, pink and a beautiful shade of red. Our really good ones have a deep red pouch, absolutely beautiful. I think it's called the Phragmipedium Cardinali birchwood, something like that, absolutely gorgeous. And they've got beautiful shaped petals of a whitish pink. And this is another nice plant, it's Phragmipedium sedenii. Absolutely gorgeous. These are, I've described what the colour of the flowers can be earlier on, and this is a beautiful plant with quite a few growths on it, some new growths coming up there. Believe it or not, that is a new growth there, and beautiful shiny leaves, absolutely lovely. And as I said, it's a cross between Schlimmii and piercii. And I'm wrong on that one. I thought it didn't sound right. It's a cross between Schlimmii and longifolium. Well, frags, they like a minimum temperature of around 12 degrees centigrade, and it'll go up into the high 80s Fahrenheit. But with nearly all of them having their roots in the wild submerged in water, they do not like their roots to be warm. So be careful about that. Try and keep the roots as cool as possible, but not cold. You know, don't start watering with cold water. Just make sure it's sort of lukewarm, but not too warm. They require bright light and mild air movement. The piercii loves water and is found along the shots. I think I've told you before about this. And they are found on rocks which are actually in the river. These plants are regularly or completely submerged underwater when they get the floods. The usual method of planting for all of these plants is bark, but I've made mine in lava rock. As far as media concerned, You know, most of these plants are grown in bark, but if you move them out of the bark and put them into the excuse me, the lava rock, it tends to lose roots from being transferred into something totally different. And now I think the best way to partially omit the complete loss of roots is to slowly introduce the newly bought plants gradually into the lava rock, keeping the majority of the bark in the pots. Now, as far as fertilizer goes, I used to just feed them twice a year on fish blood and bone, but my newly bought plants are now fed lightly. With lightly I mean around about 150, 180 parts per million every 3 weeks out of 4, and flush well on the 4th week. Now, if you can be bothered with flushing, or you like things like that, then the best way to do with all these plants is to flush them the same day as you feed them. So when you feed them, the roots will take up as much food as they want and then discard the rest. So if you flush them, if you feed them in the morning, flush them in an afternoon, you've cleared the all unwanted fertilizer away. And just to add another tip, you can allow the frags to dry out for a day, but no more than a couple of days. So I hope that tells you all you need to know about frags. So thank you for watching. If you haven't subscribed, I would be very, very obliged if you did so. And until next time, I'll see you later. Bye.